Hi traders, Roberto. This is the Pro Traders Workshop series, and today's lesson is on support and resistance levels. Oftentimes, you may see a good setup and you may want to take it, but then you realize the entry is very close to a support or resistance level. So, what I normally do is draw horizontal lines at those levels. So if I do take a trade, I know where to exit. Here's a good example on the Euro Australian dollar. This is a trade that was taken a few hours ago. And again, I start looking for confluence of indicators. The two lines of MACD on the 1 hour chart crossed to the downside, was also crossed to the downside on the 4 hour chart. I'm looking for price to break below the previous support, and it did. And I don't necessarily wait for this candle to close because the market's in a downtrend. So as long as it can penetrate this level, then I'll enter the trade and put my stop loss above this candle up here. So the entry was about here, 145.73. And I exited down here at 145.30 area. Now, it's reacting to our previous support level. So, but I anticipate this to finish 1 hour. Maybe it'll come back up to this resistance. Now, it's resistance because it used to be support, and when support is broken, it becomes resistance. Or this candle may finish and then the next candle may penetrate this level of support. And these two horizontal lines that you see are support levels on a higher time frame in a daily and 4 hour chart. So I just make sure that I know where to exit a trade based on previous support or resistance levels. So in this case, the market's in a strong downtrend. Let's look at a 4 hour chart. Notice the two lines of MACD crossing to the downside on the 4 hour chart, but it is hitting a very strong support level from October the 4th, and the other two support levels are based on a daily chart. So what I did is just drew a line at the body and the bottom of the wick, so that 144.21 and 144.58 are two separate resistance levels on a daily chart. So looking at a 1 hour chart, what I'm hoping that price will penetrate this previous support level, and then I would take that trade and exit at the next support, which is 144.58. Okay, so it's very simple. Knowing directional bias, usually when there's a strong downtrend or uptrend, support and resistance levels will be broken. And this is a case in point. Here's we had a strong support level up here. And initially price closed below the support, but then the next candle penetrated, and that would be the entry. This was consolidation for about an entire day, and then that would be the entry and the exit at the next resistance level, which was here. Okay. So anytime you are looking to take a trade, just make sure you're looking at least 4 or 5 days of activity so you can plot all the support and resistance levels. So if you would have taken this trade, entered here, the obvious exit would be up here at the most recent resistance. And then to the downside, if it's breaking a support level, then you would want to enter that trade, but you need to exit at the next resistance level. Now, how would you know if price will continue to break support and resistance? And you cannot know absolutely for certain for each trade, but if you have 2 or 3 time frames that are pointing down or up, the chances that it's going to break a support or resistance is very high. And this is a good example because we have a 50, 100, and a 21 moving average line that are slanted down. Price is below the support, the swing point. So we are in a strong downtrend on a 4 hour and 1 hour chart, but it is reacting to a previous support level. once that support level is breached, then it would continue to the next support. And I feel very comfortable continuing to waiting for price below to break below the support level, because all the time frames, 1 hour and 4 hour chart, are pointing down. So I hope that makes sense. It's just knowing if a support area is going to hold or if it's going to not hold. And when you have a strong indicators on the 1 hour and 4 hour chart, you have 2 or 3 time frames that are supporting a break of a support level, then most likely it's going to happen. Okay, it's just initially the first time, usually it reacts to that level. There's a lot of profit taking at a support, so the market reacts to that. And once all those orders are filled, then what happens is that price will turn around and resume its downward trend. Okay. Here's an example where, and this is the same currency pair, price was in an uptrend, then it turned around, sold off, and notice how it reacted to a previous support level. Let me just draw it right at the wick. Here's a previous support level here, and market reacted to that level, but notice it was a retracement that came back down. Normally the first time it's difficult for price to break a previous support, and there's always some sort of reaction to that. Once this retracement was finished, it tries to break it, and it did, and it went, and it continued to sell off the next day. And here again are 2 previous support levels. When markets are in a strong downtrend and body of a candle closes below the support, you would enter a trade. The moving average lines are slanted down. The MACD indicator is slanted down. On the 4 hour and 1 hour chart, everything is pointing down. So maybe here's the next support, price finds is starting to consolidate, and then again going in the direction of the trend, you would take this trade, price closing. So this is very important if you have a difficult time deciding whether you should take a trade when a candle breaks below support. Then you just have to remember that when you have a 4 hour, 1 hour chart that are completely mirroring each other, most likely it's going to continue to sell off. There's not going to be a big reaction and turn around and head the other way. It's just going to have a lot of strength going to the downside. Okay, and again here it happened, and then there was another support down here. Everything is pointing down. The 1 hour and 4 hour chart in a strong downtrend. Here's a support. There's a retracement, but then at the end of the day, look what happened. It closed below the support, and that would be your entry. A little bit of retracement, and then it sold off again. Okay, so this is what we do. Notice how this pair right now is retracing, and most likely we won't see a trade till the opening of the European session. Right now this is the support, respecting a previous support level, but once this support level is broken and a candle closes below, then we can take this trade, because all the MACD indicators on the 1 hour and 4 hour chart are pointing down, and all we need is price to break a previous support to re-enter the market. I hope that makes sense. Of course, you can always email me if you have any more questions about this. So tomorrow's Friday is the last day of the week. Have a good trading day, and talk to you guys soon.